The year is 1888. A thick fog hangs over London, clinging to the cobbled streets of Whitechapel. Gaslights flicker, casting long, eerie shadows. This is the heart of Victorian London. A world of contrasts, opulent wealth and grinding poverty exists side by side. But beneath the veneer of respectability, a darkness festers. In the labyrinthine alleyways of Whitechapel, fear takes hold. A killer stalks the night, preying on the most vulnerable women trapped in the desperate world of prostitution. The newspapers dub him Jack the Ripper, and his gruesome crimes grip the city with a chilling terror. The fog becomes a shroud, concealing not just the city's secrets, but the killer himself. With each victim, the fog of fear thickens. The people of Whitechapel are caught in a nightmare, haunted by the knowledge that a killer walks among them. The police are baffled, their investigations hampered by the fog, both literal and metaphorical. The murders of Jack the Ripper expose the dark underbelly of Victorian society, a world of poverty, vice and violence hidden beneath the surface of respectability. The victims of Jack the Ripper were women on the margins of society, forced by circumstance into prostitution. Their names, Polly Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, Mary Jane Kelly, became synonymous with the horror of the Whitechapel murders. Each victim was brutally murdered, their bodies mutilated with a savagery that shocked even the most hardened police officers. The murders followed a pattern, a chilling ritual that intensified the fear gripping Whitechapel. Most of the victims were killed on weekends, late at night or in the early hours of the morning. The killer's weapon was a sharp knife, used with a surgeon's precision. The brutality of the attacks and the apparent knowledge of anatomy fueled speculation that the killer might be a doctor or butcher. The murders weren't just crimes of violence, they were acts of terror designed to instill fear and panic. The killer left his victims in public places, their bodies exposed for all to see, a macabre spectacle meant to shock and intimidate. With each murder, the shadow of Jack the Ripper loomed larger, his presence felt in every darkened alleyway, every fog-choked street. The police investigation into the Whitechapel murders was a frustrating exercise in futility. The fog that hung over London seemed to seep into the case itself, obscuring clues and hampering progress. Despite a massive effort, the police were unable to identify the killer or prevent further murders. The investigation was plagued by false leads, dead ends, and the sheer difficulty of policing a densely populated and poverty-stricken area like Whitechapel. The police employed all the investigative techniques available at the time, interviewing witnesses, searching for physical evidence, and following up on every lead, no matter how tenuous. They even used bloodhounds to try and track the killer's scent, but to no avail. The lack of forensic technology hampered their efforts, and the killer's apparent carefulness in covering his tracks left them with few clues to work with. The pressure to catch the killer mounted with each new victim. The public clamoured for answers, and the newspapers were filled with speculation and sensationalized accounts of the murders. The police were criticised for their perceived incompetence, and the investigation became a political football, with accusations of corruption and ineptitude levelled at Scotland Yard. Despite their best efforts, the police were unable to solve the mystery of Jack the Ripper, and the case remains unsolved to this day. As the sun sets and darkness creeps over the cobblestone streets, a cast of shadows emerges, hinting at the unseen dangers of the night. It's here, in these obscured visions, where fear and curiosity intertwine. Even now, over a century later, the enigma of Jack the Ripper refuses to loosen its grip on our collective imagination. The mystery, woven through countless stories and speculations, continues to captivate and chill to the bone. Despite numerous theories and exhaustive investigations, the true identity of Jack the Ripper remains an unsolved mystery. This enduring enigma challenges our understanding of the past and keeps us questioning what secrets lie hidden in the shadows of history.